A very warm welcome to all of you. My name is Shubham, and I welcome you all on behalf of my entire team of One Polish. Today's subject of our concern is the Indian Evidence Act of 1872. Starting off with the same, this is a general explanation of what the code is. What do you mean by the evidence? So, the thing you present before the court to prove or disprove an issue of fact is evidence. For the purpose of the explanation, I have already gathered the explanation from the various book that is of our importance in the due course of time. So, the law of evidence are the rules that one has to follow to make the piece of evidence admissible in the court of law. So, the second question arises that what do you mean by the admissibility? Admissibility of course, evidence. So, whether your material shall be accepted as evidence in the court of law is termed as admissibility. When you go to a court, when you bring a piece of evidence with you and you show it to the court, if the court admits the same, it is admissible in the court of law, otherwise, it is not. So, there are basic rules regarding the same. We shall deal with them in the later stages. Now, there are different types of evidences that are taken by the court, and it includes the major types include the following. There are the four types basically that I have been classifying the same: the oral evidence, the documentary evidence, the circumstantial evidence, and the hearsay evidence. Hearsay evidence is basically a weak type of evidence. So, if I quote, it is a procedural law which provides how a fact is to be proved. How a fact is to be proved. So, it is a procedural law. So, what do you mean by a procedural law? A procedural law is a law that helps to implement the substantive law. Now, what is a substantive law? A substantive law is a law that defines the rights and duties of an individual. So, it is a basic and a simple, clear explanation of what does the substantive and the procedural law means. Now, moving forward, the quantum of proof required to prove a particular fact differs. So now, here the quantum of proof is synonymous with the standard of proof. So what I want to say is, there are different standards of proof and the requirement is different in civil and criminal cases respectively. So, evidence must be relevant. That is, it must be directed at proving or disproving a legal element, basically a legal fact. When you prove a fact in issue, the same is with the help of an evidence. In civil suit, what is generally considered is the preponderance of the probabilities. On the other hand, in the criminal cases, what you consider the standard of proof is beyond reasonable doubt. So, the basic difference between the quality of evidence required. The code works in consonance with the other code, also the Indian Penal Code and the Criminal Procedure Code, uh, not to forget. So, talking about the same, we shall now talk about the brief history of the code. Our main motto is not to go deep inside the history because it is only to create a general awareness about the subject. Starting off, first point, the rules of evidence were developed over several centuries and are based upon the rules from the Anglo American common law. So, in India, the roots of law are quite ancient. We can trace it down from the times of Manu, in fact. Stating the same, the rules of the evidence were not spontaneous. It were not immediately developed by someone. It was a gradual. It was gradual and over time, so that they developed in a very precise and gentle manner. The second point is the Indian Evidence Act, identified as Act number 1 of 1872 and called as the Indian Evidence Act of 1872. This is the numerology, so it is a general explanation, so I need to state the same. All in all, there are 11 chapters, 167 sections, and it came into force on 1st of September 1872. It is quite important from the examination point of view to most of our viewers. Now, in order to trace the history of the law of evidence, our country is divided in three different periods to be referred as. Firstly, the ancient Hindu period, followed by the second, the ancient Muslim period, and lastly, the British period. As I already said, we shall not discuss the history of the code in detail. The object of this article is to provide a general idea of what the code is. So, a simple 2 to 3 minutes of your will suffice if I were to say. There are many sections and many explanations for the same code. But as an individual, you should be well aware of this code because in times to come, It is your knowledge that is everything to you. So you should be knowledgeable enough to know what are the important codes, what are the important laws that you should consider, and you should know the same being a civilized individual in the society. There are many other topics that we shall include in the course of our dealings with the same. These include the fact, what are the facts and issues, what do you actually mean by evidence according to the code. Basically, if I were to tell you what is written in the code, I shall read it out to you in a quote. Evidence means and includes all statements which the court permits or required to be made before it by witnesses in relation to the matters of fact under inquiry. Such statements are called oral evidences. As we have already dealt with the same, we shall not discuss this any further. And as I said, I shall discuss all of these in detail in my coming videos and the coming topics. So, I think that I've explained enough so that you get the general awareness about the topic. And I hope you like the video and every endeavor has been made so that you get out of the most out of the video, and hope you like it in the best possible manner. We have tried to explain all of the same in a precise, relevant manner. Hope you like it.